We do not always appreciate the importance of our health until we lose it. When we are told that nothing can be done to heal us, no matter how much money we have, everything that seems so important before now starts to lose its value. We experience pain, desperation, and loneliness in the presence of others. Then we acknowledge that healing is a gift that goes beyond medicine, that there are other options out there that may help us, and that there is a higher power that controls the distribution of this gift. As a result, we hesitantly and somewhat reluctantly begin to explore these other avenues. To our great surprise, we discover the secrets of the universe through alternative medicine. We experience and respect the generosity of divinity through various health modalities. Our faith is restored, our health improves, and life begins to make sense again. Health is a basic human right. And healing is a gift that is given to us by God through a variety of channels, including doctors and other alternative practitioners. How is it that until now we did not know that there was so much on offer? That doesn't really matter, for now we are being given the chance to know.
People who watched our last show saw the condition of Mr. Stofile. I can actually understand why people doubt if we can get him well. People who know our abilities know that we have successfully treated worse cases than these. This show seems to have triggered debates, and people have different views about whether we will be able to help him or not. Out of interest, we did street interviews just to get some idea, and it was actually quite interesting to learn how real this is. That is, how people really think. Some people think we can do it and others think we cannot. Just take a look.
Hello, my name is Unati.
And I'm Kelly.
We're here in Pier 14 to interview the viewers and find out what they think of Mr. Stofile and his recovery. Mandi lapha nje ndifuna ukubuza uba uyambukela na uBay TV la show ithiwa nguDr Alternative.
Ewe ndiyambukela.
Okay. Uyibonile imeko kaMr Stofile and xa sokucinga singakwazi umtreat uMr Stofile siphinde simphilise na?
Ndibonile imeko yakhe imbi kakhulu. Ninakho umphilisa ninalo ithemba lento yoba ninakho uphila.
Utsho mama?
Nditsho.
I think they're just taking chances on advertising purpose.
Have you seen Mr. Stofile, the winner of our competition, who we are currently treating at this moment?
Yes, the guy who can't walk.
Yes, that's him. Do you think that Health Haven is going to be able to treat him so that he can walk again, or do you think we're just taking chances?
I think they'll be able to help him, otherwise they wouldn't just lie to him on national television.
Do you think that Health Haven will be able to cure him, or do you think we're just taking a chance?
I think you're just taking a chance.
Yeah.
No, ma'am. I think we're able to cure him, ma'am.
I think it is possible for him to get healed and for him to walk again, and I think it's a good thing that you guys are doing by helping him, giving him free treatment. I think it's something good that you started doing.
It's going to be better for him.
I think his condition is very bad. I don't think we'll be able to treat him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
At my own serious opinion, I think He's very bad ill, and I don't think he'll come out of this situation easily.
Okay.
I doubt he'll recover.
Yeah, I know you can treat him because I can see you guys are good. So with so many things.
I think you're taking a chance.
Taking a huge chance because there is like a possibility of a failure or something like that that will bring him down.
But I believe in you guys.
Believe that everything gonna be fine there.
Health Haven has taken the health industry by storm. They are the talk of the town because they do the unthinkable and the unprecedented. How do you take someone in Mr. Stofile's condition who has been in this position for years, someone who is completely disabled, and promise to get him well again? You can only do that if you are sure of what you are doing. That is what defines Health Haven. They have the gift of healing, and they know what they are doing.
There you have it. You've seen the different views of people about whether we'll be able to treat Mr. Stofile or not. It's actually quite exciting to see that we are giving people some topics to debate about within families, within work situations. One person actually walked in the other day and said to us, I didn't know about you. I had people arguing about you in the bus, and I thought I've got to go and see this place. I mean, it's good to hear people are talking about us, whether you agree with us or you don't. It doesn't really matter, because the whole idea is to give the information to you as viewers, and then you can decide what you want to do with it, but at least to have the information. So that is what this whole show is all about, to give you the information, to educate you about a whole range of illnesses and solutions and problems, and give you a chance to make better choices when you are faced with challenges of illness in your family or for yourself or whoever that you know. So you just decide which side are you on, whether you think we're going to be able to treat him or whether you think we're just taking a chance, but you will be the witness to a new Mr. Stofile that we're going to present to you at a later stage. Enjoy the show. Our treatment programs at Health Haven are very different from conventional methods. Like we diagnose differently and in such detail, we also treat differently and in quite a bit of detail. Mr. Stofile's treatment was divided into 3 protocols, which ran over 4 weeks. On week 1, what we did was we restored the proper functioning of his lymphatic system, which affected his cerebellum. The cerebellum, as we said, is the back part of his brain, and that is what caused him to lose the balance and to rely on crutches in order to be able to walk. The second part was his bronchial tubes, the trachea and his whole bronchial tubes. So we had to treat that as well. The third part was his spinal cord, especially the lumbar spine, that is the bottom part of the spine, which was even curving, and that is why he had to sit in a certain position. And the fourth part was his bladder. If you remember, he gave a report that he can actually, he's battling to control his bladder. So sometimes he would become incontinent. So within this week, we had to try and sort out all these problems which were caused by his compromised lymphatic system. And within that week, we managed to get rid of the pain and to sort out a whole lot of things that fall in this category. Now, for Mr. Stofile to be able to get well and be able to walk again, it was very important to get the system working. The lymphatic system is the system which is the anchor of defense and elimination system. All the build-up of poison in his body has to be eliminated. Now, going to week 2 and to week 4, we had now to get to the second phase of the treatment, which is to get rid of the iron overload. Now, to remind the viewers, you must remember the iron overload, as I gave him his diagnosis, is the build-up of iron in his liver because it's absorbing and storing too much of it, and therefore it's actually affecting other organs. Like, it's not only the liver that's affected, it's affected his pancreas, it's affected his heart, and most of the iron deposits were actually in his joints. How did iron overload affect Mr. Stofile's pancreas? Mr. Stofile's pancreas was actually affected in a way that caused him to have type 1 diabetes. Even though the diabetes was never detected in clinic, he did have some suspicions that he is diabetic, but whenever they checked, they could not detect diabetes. But when we did our own examination, that's one of the things that I discovered. Now we must understand that there are lots of people that have got type 1 diabetes, and for some reason I don't know why it is so difficult for conventional medicine to detect it. I mean, I get many people, they tell me, I know I've got all the symptoms, but it has never been detected. Some people even develop pancreatic cancer, but you find there is still a problem in detecting diabetes. But in his case, we confirmed that he is diabetic, and that was one of the treatments that we supplied him with to sort of stabilize his sugar levels. Secondly, how did it affect his heart? This is also one of the areas where we picked up that it affected the mitochondria of his heart and caused him to have what we call arrhythmia, which is when the heart loses its pulsing rhythm. I mean, if for instance you have got arrhythmia, you will find that the heart will like do do do, and then you breathe normally again. So it's like it loses the consistent rhythm, and that is what he was experiencing. I mean, I remember he was even telling me when we were driving that there were times when he would even think that it's gonna come out through his mouth the way it was beating. So that was also one of the areas that the iron deposits affected his heart, and we also had to give him treatment to build the power station of his heart. So week 2 up to week 4 was covering those conditions. This was the heaviest of the 3 protocols. Remember, the iron overload, the iron build up and the uric acid build up in his joints has been for years. Now, to try and get rid of all that build up was quite a mammoth task. And if you remember, he mentioned that his doctors used to draw the yellow stuff from his knees, and that yellow stuff is actually the bilirubin, which is a byproduct of iron.
Didumba amadolo kuthatha into engaka enalithi engathi ke kuzohlatywa ngokisilwanyana ifakwa phansi kwedolo kuphumela ncindi le into ngathi yelo bayigalele phaa entweni ngasisityana baphinde ithe ngcalana lithi itsalwe ifakwe phaya ifakwe vyeri ithi yobuya negazi bayeke bathi bayikhuphile la gawuti phaya.
Also in the joints is the build-up of uric acid, which crystallizes and become hard like stones. Hence, he told you that at some stage they made an operation performed an operation on his shoulders and removed something that looked like a piece of salt, a stone of salt. So we had to decrystallize that.
Bangithatha i-operation bayikhupha bandibonisa laa nto ifana netyuwa ebifana netyuwa nje ungacima kade ityuwa nje uyigale lapha emhlabeni efeleni ihapha bandisuke kule ndawo nalinxeba kule ndawo apha edolweni ndithe ndobuza komnye ugqirha ingaba yintoni na wathi kum lo gqirha eyi Stofile andikholwa bayigawuti leni.
So for us to get rid of all that build up of hard crystals of uric acid, and also to get rid of all that bilirubin, that is now the yellow stuff, we had to do quite a bit of task. This is really hard work for the body, and for us to work with that with that body was actually quite a mammoth task. For instance, as the uric acid crystallizes, it becomes hard. But now for us to be able to get rid of that uric acid, we've got to melt those crystals. That is like get the crystals back into the acid, into the acid form, into the liquid form again. And you must remember, as we decrystallize, that is melting the crystals, those crystals become uric acid in the form of liquid, and that tends to take more space, because remember, when the crystal is hard, it takes less space. But once you melt it, it becomes liquid, and then it takes more space, and then that would end up moving to the fingers and causing them to swell, and then we had to get rid of the swelling and then decrystallize again. So the process is a slow, heavy process which is very involved. And when the swelling starts to subside, then we decrystallize again, and then the process went on and on and on. So this phase was really quite involved, and we've covered the 2 weeks, the 3 weeks in the 4 weeks that we had to do it. We are now on our last stage, and we are going to present you with Mr. Stofile once we finish with this phase, which is going to be next in our next show. Now, this phase also involved other things. Like, for instance, if you remember, the iron overload damaged his pancreas. So we had to stabilize his sugar levels. We had to work on the mitochondria of his heart as well, because remember, there were iron deposits in his heart as well. So we had to strengthen the mitochondria of his heart, and also concentrate on the joints. So in week 3, we continued with this process, and then the thing that followed was to flush out the gallstones. He was actually very shocked to see the amount of gallstones that he released. And I'm sure there are many people who are just as shocked that gallstones can be removed without a person taking an operation. We've treated quite a lot of people with gallstones, and some people were even scheduled for gallbladder removal. I remember there was a lady from East London who came to me. She had heard about our services from a friend of hers, and when she came to me, she says, "Han, is it true? Because I felt I need to first talk to you before I can accept that it's possible to get gallstones and save one from removing a gallbladder." She was scheduled for a gallbladder removal, and she had already been given a date, and this friend said, "Before you go there, just go to Health Haven." And we managed to save her from removing her gallbladder, and also we got a whole lot of gallstones out without an operation. So that is what we did with Mr. Stofile. Now, I know that there are many people that suffer from gallstones. We have got a program where we soften the gallstones, because the reason why you find gallstones cannot be gotten out of the duct where they are blocked, or from your liver, it's because they are real stones. I mean, they are hard like stones. So your system would not let them out because they are hard stones, But we've got a program where we can soften the gallstones and get them out in numbers. And you must remember, if you have a gallstone maybe that has been picked up by the ultrasound and your doctor tells you need to go for an operation. Remember, the one that's picked up by the ultrasound is just maybe just one or two in your common bile duct, but there is a whole lot of them that you find are sitting in your liver and in your gallbladder, which the ultrasound cannot pick up. But when we put you on that program of liver cleansing and gallstone removal, you find you will actually be shocked that it will take maybe a whole day of you releasing stones, be it they are brown or dark reddish in color, which is the color of blood, or they may be yellow because of the bilirubin, or they may be green because of bile, or they may be black because of tar, the poo. When you find that you're constipating too much, so you accumulate a lot of what we call tar, and they may even be white. There are people that are like shocked when they release some of the white gallstones or grayish gallstones. Now, when you get the whitish or the grayish ones, because those ones are quite rare, that is an indication of too much blockage. If the blockage is like too much, you will find you'll get white gallstones, because remember, what gives the color of urine to be yellow or causes the color of your stools to be brownish is bilirubin, which is the stuff that I spoke about earlier on, the byproduct of iron. And because the elimination system, that is your liver, eliminates bilirubin via your urine and your stools, you find you tend to have the colors of the urine and the stools being yellow. But now, when there is a problem of blockage and there is no way that bile is getting to flow through because of complete blockage, because of gallstones, you find that your stools may be grayish, grayish actually, or even your gallstones, you may have grayish gallstones. But now we have a program, like I say, that takes out all those gallstones, and you'll be shocked at how well you feel afterwards, that you become like a new man. I mean, Mr. Stofile is really absolutely shocked to see the amount of gallstones that we managed to get out of his system. But he will share that when he talks to you. So I want to talk more about, the reason why I'm talking more about gallstones, it's because there are so many people that are suffering from cholestasis, which is the blockage of the duct because of gallstones, or gallbladder inflammation. You get inflamed because of the blockage in your gallbladder or the ducts. But people didn't know that there is a program where you don't need to go for an operation. Yes, there is, and at Health Haven we've got that program. So that formed part of the treatment protocol of Mr. Stofile, and that part was covering the liver cleansing, because you must understand, gallstones get formed because of stagnant bile. Remember, the bile is produced by the liver, but is not meant to, it's supposed to flow, because then it gets stored in your gallbladder, and some of it is released to the small intestines, because it is used mostly for fat digestion in your small intestines. So when your liver is battling, therefore, to get it to flow, you find it becomes stagnant, it hardens, and it forms gallstones. And you must also understand that when the bile is being released to the gallbladder, because that's where it's stored, and some of it is released to your small intestines, when it's being released, it lives with the bilirubin. So it is a carrier of bilirubin, which assists the elimination system to get it through to your colon, which you release through the bowel movement or through your urine, which you also release through your urinary system. So that is how gallstones get formed. It's the stagnant bile that hardens and end up forming gallstones. So you don't necessarily have to have a gallstone being stuck in your duct to need to do a gallbladder or a gallstone removal. The liver cleansing is a process which should be done by almost every adult, maybe once in 6 months, even if you're not really experiencing some pain on your right, because when you've got gallbladder or gallstone blockage, you will experience excruciating pain on the right side of your stomach. Okay, but I just wanted to say that say a little bit more on the gallstone removal, because I know there are lots of people that have got liver-related problems, and some are aware have got gallstones, some have got gallbladders that are due for removal. I want to say it again, you don't need to have an operation to remove your gallstones. You don't need an operation to remove your gallbladder. You don't need to remove your gallbladder. Of course, it doesn't mean you cannot live if you don't have your gallbladder. You can still function, but it means your system, your liver system cannot store bile. It can produce it and passes it through your small intestines for it to assist with enzyme supply and fat and digestion. We are now on our last week and we have covered a lot of ground. I'm actually very happy with his progress. We will present to you a new Mr. Stofile in our next show. Make sure you don't miss it. The third leg of our treatment protocol was the diet. This is also a very important leg. People have got no idea how important diet is, because remember, Mr. Stofile is in this condition because of the intolerances that he had, which ended up affecting the liver. And you remember, we mentioned that he is fructose intolerant, he is gluten intolerant, and he is also lactose intolerant. His diet changed completely. We cut out fruit completely from his diet, and we also cut out veggies like spinach, as he is iron overloaded. We also cut out veggies with fructose, like for instance carrots, peas, and others. We reintroduced a new range of vegetables and a new range of diet. This week, in the list of veggies, he had to take a serving of raw cabbage twice a day. Now remember, cabbage is very good for reducing the iron overload. Our approach, as you can see, is quite comprehensive, and our results are quite phenomenal. You will be able to witness this for yourselves when you see a new Mr. Stofile. After the break, we will answer some of the questions you have emailed us. We are now coming to the session where we will be looking at the emails that you viewers have sent us. We have invited health consultants from Health Haven as usual. On my right, I've got Louise Umbral, who's the health consultant from Health Haven. And on my left, I've got Tobeka Spielman, who is also a health consultant. Welcome, ladies.
Welcome.
Good to have you back to our show again. I'll start with Louise to hear what the question is all about.
The question that I have is it's an email that says, I have a backbone which is very painful. I've been to chiropractors, physiotherapists and doctors that specialize in back problems, but I'm dying of pain. What causes the pain?
A problem of a backbone has got a whole lot of causes that you cannot just at the top of your head you can say it's caused by this. I'll give you examples. The back problem might actually be the spinal cord. Most of the cases that I've treated, the problem is actually the spinal cord. A person may either have spinal cord compression, may either have spondylitis, people with sclerosis of the spinal cord, people maybe even with a lipoma on the spinal cord, which is a fat a deposit that sometimes does occur, or even people with a clot in the spinal cord. So I've treated a whole range of people with various causes, or even people with gallstones. You might find a person has got a serious back problem, but the problem is actually not lying on the spinal cord, but it is because of gallstones. So it's very important to know, therefore, what is the cause in each particular case, because the treatment that you will give for each individual will depend squarely on what the diagnosis is. So that's why we always encourage people to come to our clinic so that we can be able to scan and see what is causing the problem in their case. So that will be the best answer I can give to this client as well. The second question is coming from from Tobeka Spielman. Let's have your question, Tobeka.
Lo mbuzo siwuthatha kwenye ye-email zethu. Lo mntu uhlutshwa sisiyezi, uba dizi, ibe ngathi indlu yakhe iyajikeleza. Uthi uba wesi ngoku kunzima nokuqhuba imoto yakhe. Uyile kogqirha, wayifumana i-treatment, but asipheli isiyezi. Akukho gqirha ode athi yintoni i-problem yakhe.
The problem here is dizziness. Now you must also understand, like I've indicated with this first question that I dealt with, there are many causes of dizziness. For people that are iron deficient, you will find they will have a problem of dizziness. People that have got iron overload will have a problem of dizziness. People that have got a condition that is called insulinoma, where the pancreas is producing too much insulin and causing sugar levels to drop, may have a problem of dizziness. People with multiple sclerosis, which is a condition, an autoimmune disorder that is damaging the protective cover of the nerve cells in the brain and the spine, may also experience dizziness. The list can go on and on. So even in this case, it would be difficult to say the cause is this in this particular case. So that is why it is important for us to scan and see what is causing the problem of dizziness in his particular case. So, but all these cases that I've listed, like the examples that I've given you, those are the cases that we have treated successfully. So that is what I would urge even in this one, that you visit our clinic so that we can see what is causing dizziness in your case. Otherwise, to just give a blanket treatment, like I make an example, people that are iron overloaded, I've treated people that have got iron overload who are actually treated for iron deficiency. And that is actually very serious, because for someone who's got a problem of iron deficiency, you cannot give that person or treat that person by giving, by depriving them of iron. Like for instance, even in case of food, people that are iron deficient, you need to give them more iron producing or supplying food like red meat, like liver, like spinach. And yet people that are iron overloaded, you cannot dare give them those things. So it's so important to know what is particularly causing dizziness in each case, because treatment programs are actually very different in treating different causes of dizziness. So I cannot stress more the importance of you visiting our clinic so that we can be able to test what is causing dizziness in your case. Thank you. There are many people who have sent us emails and phoned us, and some have sent SMSs, who would like us to treat them but are not in a position to come to Port Elizabeth. I would like to talk a little bit about that kind of service. We have got an online consultation or service line which is helping people that are not in a position to come to our clinic. But before I give more details on that, I just want to stress this. If you can, make it your utmost best to try and visit our clinic. Because it is through our diagnostic channels and tools that will be in a position to detect a whole range of other things that you may be experiencing, but which you were not aware are serious. Take, for instance, the example of Mr. Stofile. Mr. Stofile's main area of concern that has been sending him in and out of doctors was his limbs, his inability to walk. He did experience those other things that I pointed out to him, but he never really realized how serious they were. He did experience the headache on his back, but he thought it was just another headache. He did experience the spinal cord, like he showed that the way he sits is in a certain position. He did experience the chest pain, like he would say that when it starts to come, he would say to his wife, "Nkosikazi, here comes that pain." But because it would come and go, he would forget about it. He did experience the problems about his bladder, but those areas were not anything that made him go see the doctors. The thing that kept him sending him back, forwards and backwards to the doctors were his limbs, his inability to walk, and the excruciating pain on his joints and on his feet. Yet when we did our own scanning and examined him, we picked up all those things and pointed, even though he had never told us about them, we mentioned to them, and he actually agreed with us because he knew about them. But had he not come to the clinic, we would not have been able to pick up all those things. So I'm just stating this because it is so important for you to try and make it possible for you to come and get to our clinic so that we can get to the bottom of your problem. Once we have seen what is the problem, and we have examined, you only need to come once so that we can at least see. Then you don't have to keep on coming to us for your successive consultations or treatments, because we will be in a position to send the medication to you wherever you are. We've got a whole range of clients all over the country. We even have some people outside the country that we send some medicines to, because it is possible to let you receive the medication as long as we have seen what is wrong with you. But I also understand, having said all this that I've said, I do understand that there are people who are completely incapacitated, who cannot even get up, like people with rheumatoid arthritis, with serious rheumatoid arthritis, who you find cannot even turn. They are stiff, the joints, the whole body is completely stiff, they're deformed. So I can understand that there are cases like that where it is almost impossible for you to get out of where you are, especially if you're very far from Port Elizabeth and come to our clinics, which is why we are offering this online service. But now I just want to say that the online service is kind of limited because it will concentrate more on the things that you are experiencing. But it will still help because, like I say, if for instance you've got rheumatoid arthritis, without a doubt, I know that you should be having some iron overload that are causing your immune system to actually, that are causing the inflammation to your joints. So because of my training and because of my experience and my ability to detect certain things because of my gift, I will still be in a position to detect what is wrong and still be in a position to send you the medication. But it will not be exactly like it would be the case had you been in a position to come and visit our clinic. But to meet you halfway, or even further than halfway, I will still be in a position to have a fairly good idea of what is going on with you and be able to send you the necessary medication, which I believe will make a huge difference in your health. And I can really feel for people with rheumatoid arthritis, because it can be very nasty. It's excruciating. The pain is unbearable. So I will encourage those people that can manage to come to please do, but those that really cannot, we do have an online consultation where I will respond to your, whether it's the email or whatever form of communication you have used. I will respond to you, and you will follow the online consultation process, which will be supplied to you by Kelly, and then we will take it from there. So I'm saying to those people that cannot come to us, it's not a lost case, so don't throw a towel. We will still help you. We've helped a few people, but like I say, it's quite important if you can manage to come to our clinic.
For those people that are unavailable to visit our clinic for whatever reason, we do offer online consultation. With online consultation, we'll still be in a position to establish what is wrong and to send the medication. However, this type of consultation has limitations and compared to a visit to our clinic. I do urge to try your best to visit our clinic as the evaluation abilities are very comprehensive. Our online consultation info is displayed via our website, which is displayed on the screen below. We're going to go for a break, and after the break we'll update you about our monthly competition.
Health Haven has taken the health industry by storm. They are the talk of the town because they do the unthinkable and the unprecedented. How do you take someone in Mr. Stofile's condition who has been in this position for years, someone who is completely disabled, and promise to get him well again? You can only do that if you are sure of what you are doing. That is what defines Health Haven. They have the gift of healing, and they know what they are doing.
We currently have our competition running on KQFM and Channel 260 on DSTV, where we select one winner per month for free medication at the value of 20,000 Rand. Mr. Stofile was our first winner for the month of May. For the month of June, our winner is little 13-year-old Sinuvuyu. Our July winner is Mr. Lulama Tabo. He's 42 years of age. If you are interested and know anyone who is suffering with an illness or a condition, please SMS HEALTH to 33729, followed with your name, your gender, your age, and your telephone number, again to 33729.
There you have it, viewers. We've come to the end of our show. If you've got illnesses or symptoms that you're experiencing, you don't know what to do, you know where to reach us. We are in Port Elizabeth, and those people that cannot come to us can send emails. We will tell you how we can help you with our online consultation. But we are in a position to detect a whole range of illnesses, and we are in a position to treat them very successfully.